This is an incredible feeling. I'm super grateful to be here. I want to thank Vicki and everybody that prepared this beautiful introduction for me. I want to thank Melissa and your team and staff for inviting me, trusting me with these incredible people. And I want to thank the founders of Nu Skin. And I don't know if Sandy's still here, but thank you for dreaming a big dream, big enough for all of us to fit inside of it. And for me to be a part of that. Man, you guys have got to try this out. Oh my goodness. So, I've got only a few minutes, and I always feel a little bit strange to be talking about myself, even though it's my favorite subject. And I want to apologize. I got out of the gym, and I was sweating like crazy, and I ran into one of you, and you wanted to take a selfie with me, and I begged you not to because I looked horrible. I was sweating and red-faced. And then I got in the elevator, and I thought to myself, man, John Maxwell was right. I'm very selfish because I was worried about how I looked. So forgive me. Please find me again. I'd love to take a picture with you. Oh, you're right there. Yes, please. I would love to. Okay, so we'll jump in. Today, in these few minutes, I have an opportunity to share with you my story and hopefully tie that in and connect in a way with you so that you can leave here knowing that everything and anything that you dream of is possible for you. But I don't want you to make the mistake that I have continually made in my life, that I'm committed to work on, especially after learning from John Maxwell yesterday. I have been a habitual, son. Sorry, so many of my favorite people in this room. There's so many incredible team elites that I'm so humbled to be around. I mean, it's just incredible for me. I have been a habitual procrastinator. So I learned that I have been extremely consistent at one thing, and that is putting things off. I was consistently putting things off. I was consistently hiding. I was consistently trying to do what was easy for me in my life. And I want all of you that are here today, especially those of you that are brand new, and maybe this is your first time at a regional or a Nu Skin event, please make a decision. Do not leave here without committing yourself to doing something, to dreaming that big dream that maybe you're hiding from, that you're afraid to dream. Let me introduce you really quickly to my family. This was taken at my wedding. I was married 3.5 years ago. And you can see here in the picture my grandmother. She was 94 years old in this picture. She was an amazing lady. She would read a book nearly every day. And most days she would read without glasses. And when I took my wife, whom I was dating at the time, home to meet my family. By the way, I waited 37 years to get married because every time I took a girl home, my mother and my grandmother, although they were very nice, they never liked anyone that I took home. Until this girl, Natalie, I'll never forget, I bring Natalie home and my mother went, oh my gosh, I love her, she's amazing. And my grandmother, she grabbed my hand and said, she's gorgeous, I love her, she's got a beautiful heart. So of course you marry her, right? Yeah, if mom and grandmother say this. So after she met my family, we went in to say goodbye. We were leaving back to Europe. And my wife went to my grandmother, who put her book down, and she grabbed her hand and she said, grandmother, when I'm 94 years old, I want to be just like you, young and energetic and reading without glasses. And my grandmother, who has kind of a big personality, she said, oh, but darling, you can't. You don't have the genes. I thought, oh my goodness, I thought you liked her, grandmother. My grandmother didn't know about age lock, right? So grandmother passed away after our wedding, a few months after our wedding, but I know she's listening. So grandmother, we're gonna be just like you and at our very best because of these incredible products. My family's very important to me. I have 4 sisters, 1 brother, and I have 12 nieces and nephews. I have a sister who married a Japanese guy. His name's Yamada-san. So I have 5 nephews who are half Japanese. I have another sister who married a Chinese guy who's really cool. And so I have 3 nieces who are half Chinese. And before I got married, my family always used to think that I was going to marry someone from Southeast Asia. But I married a girl from Romania, and it's been incredible. So family's important to me. This is a really cool picture. I found this on the internet, and I thought, that is a really cool picture. Somebody had posted it saying what a neat picture it was. In fact, they posted it and said that they had a dream to someday drive a car like this and to live in an apartment like that. And I thought it was funny because this was the first vehicle that I remember us having. And this little bug, 6 children and 2 parents, every Sunday driving to church with 8 people in the car. Okay? My 3 sisters in the back like this, and me laying in the very, very back with my little brother and my little sister on top of me. Now, this was the beginning and the birth of my very first dream that I can remember. What would you imagine that I was dreaming about? Yeah, a big car with no one else in it, so that there was plenty of room for me. And this is really where I began to dream. You guys, my parents were school teachers. And as educators, probably like here, they don't pay educators very well in the world. And so I remember as a young man seeing my parents struggle and suffer because they didn't have the money, the financial resources to give us the things that they wanted to give us. And I remember feeling a lot of pain for that. So I had a big dream to become financially successful. And I just knew that there was no other way for me to be free unless I was going to work for myself. I struggled in school. My mom and dad were school teachers. My sister was a professor at university. She'd been published. And I felt like something was wrong with me. I had dyslexia and ADHD. I could barely pay attention in class. I was jumping around with tons of energy, and I didn't want to sit through everything. But I learned that I could be good at owning a business, and so this was my first business. I started taking care of people's lawns and yards when I was 14 years old. And by the time I was 21, I had become very successful and built a multi-million-dollar business, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. But then something tragic happened, and my business failed, and I went bankrupt. And I started to think, like they said in my introduction video, that something was wrong with me. I tried really hard. I had this great idea. People told me it wouldn't work, and yet every day I worked really hard on that idea, and I became what I believed was successful financially. And then all of a sudden, that went away. And so, I was sitting there one day at 23, 24 years old, and I thought, can I give up? What should I do? And I thought, no, I can't give up. I have a goal. I have a dream. And so I decided to start another business. And within a few months, less than 2 years, I'd become very successful again and built a multi-million-dollar business. And for the second time in my life, before being 28, I was considered financially successful. And then something tragic happened. My business failed. And I went bankrupt for the second time in my life before I was 30. And I moved back into my parents' home, and I was sleeping on the floor, and I was very, very discouraged. And I thought, something's definitely wrong with me. Maybe I need to just listen to everyone else. Maybe I should follow their path, go back to school, and just get a good job, and just settle for a good life. Something in my heart was broken, and it leapt out, and it said, no, this is not right. You have a dream. And any of you in this room that have a real dream, you know that there's a voice inside of you calling out to you every day But over time, sometimes we stop listening to that voice. We don't want to hear it anymore. We don't want to believe that maybe that dream is possible for us. Well, what I discovered was that my dream was real, it was powerful, but I was missing something. I was missing the knowledge, the information, perhaps the vehicle. I knew that having a goal and a dream without a plan was simply a wish. And so, I don't often share this story, but in my second business, I was trying to recruit a Nu Skin distributor. I had a business idea for him, and I went and met with him for lunch. He was a very successful Nu Skin team elite. He'd made more than $20 million, and I had the audacity to sit with him and say, guess what? The Nu Skin business is done. You've made all the money you can make. They've made all these millionaires. You're never going to be more successful. You should quit Nu Skin and come and work with me. I remember him looking at me going, oh my goodness. He said, are you finished with your presentation? I said, yes. Are you ready to join me and sign up? He said, you know, Kenton, I like you. You've got a lot of energy, but I have bad news. Your business is not going to make it for 5 years. It'll be bankrupt. And he started calling me after my second failure. And if you were getting a phone call from someone who had told you that your business wasn't going to work, and then when it failed, they started calling you again, would you answer the phone? No. Why? Because they're telling you, I told you so. This is what I thought that he was going to tell me. But that's not really what happened. He was calling me to tell me that Nu Skin continued to grow and that there was an incredible opportunity. And so he left a message after calling me for months, and I answered the phone. I promised him I would listen. I didn't show up. He called me back. Hey, Kenton, it's Nathan Ricks. Please come and listen. This is an incredible opportunity. I never called him back. He called me again and called me again. He was very consistent with following up, and I thought someday he will give up on me because I'm not worth his effort. Have you ever felt that way? I don't know if you have, but I have. I felt completely worthless. I was afraid that he saw something in me that wasn't really there, that he didn't know that I was really a failure. He left a message one day on my phone and he said, Kenton, this is the last time that I will ever call you. I remember thinking, yes, I won. That was like the best win of the day. He said, Kenton, if you will call me back, I will teach you what you need to do to be successful. I remember playing that to my parents, my mother and father, because I was sleeping on my parents' floor and my little brother was there. And my little brother jumped up and said, Nathan Ricks, oh my gosh, call him back. That's an incredible opportunity. And I said, hold on, little brother. He called me. I'm going to call him back. I looked at my mom, who's very skeptical, and she was looking at me like this, and she said, Puh, we've heard that before. We've heard these opportunities. Are you sure you want to get your hopes up? Wouldn't it be better just to go back to school and get a good job? See, my mom loves me. Our family and our friends, they love us. They believe that they are going to protect us from being harmed or hurt. But wouldn't you agree that the greatest hurt or harm would be to live without a dream, or to live a life where that voice was constantly speaking to you from your heart and you were constantly asking it to be quiet until the day that it stopped speaking to you and it died? I didn't want to live that life. I looked at my dad, and my dad had tears in his eyes. And my dad said, Kenton, you need to call him back because he can teach you what I never could. He can give you what I can't. And in that moment, my heart broke again. And I realized that my dad wanted and was willing to have the humility to encourage me to be around people that could help me become and reach the potential that I had inside. My dad said, show me your friends, Kenton, and I will show you your future. My friends, look around you. Look at these incredible leaders that are going to speak to you and that have already spoken to you. This is a beautiful Nu Skin family. So 12 years ago, I made the decision to join this gentleman and start on my new skin journey. And because I only have a couple of minutes, I just want you to know that I had a big concern. My big concern when I looked around was that Nu Skin seemed too big, too successful, and there was no room for me. And someone in this stadium right now may feel that way. And I want you to know that you cannot listen to that voice. Because if I didn't listen to that voice, I wouldn't be here. And I am beyond humbled to know that because I was surrounded by incredible people like Nathan Ricks, I was offered this beautiful Nu Skin dream, that my life has changed. And I believe through that, and I hope that I've been able to have a positive impact on the world. My purpose in life is to breathe life and energy into the divine potential of other people. And I've never found a better vehicle than this Nu Skin vehicle. So look around, ask yourselves, who are my closest friends? And you're in good company here with this business. I want you to think about this idea. I want you to know that it will not be easy. But if it's not difficult, if it is not a major challenge in your life, it will never have the power to help you change and grow and become that person that can live and appreciate that dream that you have in your heart. It's going to mean you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. It was for me. You guys, that's where I grew though. And for the last 10 and a half years, every time, today, hey, before I got on stage, I'm sweating. I was watching the video, you know, this beautiful musical number before, and I started to cry. And I thought, I can't cry before I go out on stage. Everybody's going to look at me like an idiot. I'm not a professional speaker. I wasn't trained to do this. This is outside of my comfort zone. But the reason I came here is because I believe that there may be someone in this room that needs to hear what I heard and needs to understand that we need you. We cannot do this alone. And you have a place here. And whether you can imagine it now or not, I encourage you to dream a big dream. Dream a dream that someday in the future you will stand here in front of an incredible stadium of people, and that they will be people that you have touched their lives through this unparalleled opportunity. And we need you. There is room for you. It's real. Okay, my time is really up. But I wanted to I have 2 more minutes and I'll be really fast. How could I ever put 12 incredible Nu Skin years into 15 minutes with you? It's impossible. But look at this. I was at the Olympics in 2008. I was there with one of my first team elites and $1 Million Circle members. And I took a picture in Beijing in front of this. It says it takes dreams. And I just want you to know that if you have the courage to dream that dream, allow yourself to listen to that voice inside. Have the courage to turn up the volume on that voice who's calling out in you to make a difference. It will be met, and you're in the right place, with the right company, with the right products, with the real integrity that can give you a lasting stage to impact people's lives in this world for good. And that's what I wish for you. In the end, my friends, the person that you become, the people that we become together, and the impact that we leave on this world is really the gift in the end. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you for letting me be here. And I wish you the very best of success. Thank you.
Thank you. And another round of applause to Kenton, Worthington.